Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Let me say this about this reading. One, I'm going to curse. And I don't curse in this message because, I want to be distasteful. But there are just certain energies that are coming through in these readings because there is a shift. There is a power, there is a force. And so sometimes, most times, language is able to reflect energy and rhythm and change. And the way in which I know I am to reflect that in this reading is to switch up my language at a rate that I may not have done that before. And so for those that don't use this language or who don't favor it, I want to be respectful by saying that I will be using words that I may not have used before. But I ask you to give me grace and to understand that it has meaning and purpose. Okay, y'all. So I want you to imagine that a Super Bowl is about to take place, right? And this Super Bowl, it does not come after a season that spans over a few months. This Super Bowl comes after thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of years, right? This is the main event. This is a time in reality where there is possibility and there is hope for change, right? This is a moment where a shift is upon us. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you are a part of that shift. You are a player in this event, this main event. I would like to call this event, yes, it is a Super Bowl, but this is the godbody event. I feel like this is the event of the god bodies. So if you are seated here and you know that the Most High dwells within you, if you know who your Creator is, you know which team you're playing for, you are here in this life at this time because you are supposed to shift and change the nature and the narrative of life on earth. You have a job to do. And individually, our lives are all a piece of that job. We are all a piece of the puzzle. And if we all do the job in our own life, when you put all of our lives together, we cause a shift, a ripple. Now I want you to imagine every other life form in the universe is watching the God body event take place. We are waking up in masses to who we are and what we are. That can't be stopped. This reading is going to reveal that from the moment you took your first breath to the moment you are hearing my voice, that they have been after your vessel. Now, when I say they, I'm talking about an energy that has been able to thrive on earth, right? I'm talking about an energy that has been able to capture earth or steal the sovereignty that earth once had, right? And so earth has been bound and imprisoned. And so we have an opportunity to free her. So think about your own life and the way in which you freed yourself from the things that try to bind you. What is so significant about you doing that in your life is that God is in you. And so when you break free of chains in your life, you are using the energy of God. And when you use that energy, you are shifting the darkness that exists. You are converting, you are transmuting, you are purifying, you are shifting. Now we are so up close to our life that we can't see what this looks like at a distance. We just can't see it. We're too close. Right? And so in this message, I pray that you can pull back and you can understand the greatness that is you, in you, and that you are a part of. So those that control you, they cannot get the formulas out of you. When I say those that can control you, I'm talking about the controller, the power, the authority, the commanders, those that dominate Earth and the species that call this place home, right? So those that control Earth cannot get the formulas out of you. Well, what is in you that they would want? Well, what is a formula? It is a concise way of expressing information. But you express the information in a way that represents something else. And so you have formulas in you that when you express them, they symbolize something totally different, right? You can't be stopped from doing it. And whatever allows you to do it, it cannot be taken from you. This is an aspect of your divinity. And so how can something control you, but it can't take something from you, right? So it can control your vessel to a certain point. But then there's this threshold. There's this threshold where it has no power, no dominance. It doesn't understand. It has no awareness, right? It recognizes that something else is dwelling within you. And so the controller of Earth, one, it is not your creator. Whoever controls this place did not create you, right? And not only that, yes, they control you, but they didn't create you. And they also don't have the instruction manual about how you are operating, right? And so it was always your vessel. Your vessel is an exclusive model. It is an elite model. There are many human bodies walking around here, but not every vessel is elite. Not every vessel is here to play in the Super Bowl, the main event, the godbody event. Not every vessel can transform into a godbody. Not every vessel has the formulas to become a godbody or the codes to become a godbody. And so your transformation can't be stopped. Your transformation is happening. And so everything in your life was supposed to make you become a slave, so much so that you never regained your own sovereignty to master and command your own life and your body and the functions that make up your reality, like all of the pieces of you. So here's the thing. We have the energy of the evil eye here, right? And so people that can't control you feel some kind of way. They have a chip on their shoulder, right? And so this can look like relatives, co-workers, right? Because these vessels, these people, they can be houses to entities, right? Either by way of attachment or honestly being bound, right, forever to an entity. And this entity navigates this person you call mom or brother or nephew or cousin. And so even the people closest to you want to control you in order, right, to get something out of you. But you are cut off even from them. The people closest to you are projecting something towards you, right? When the evil eye comes up, it says that you are protected from misfortune, that someone else is wishing upon you. I can't control, or, I can control you, but I can't get something out of you. I can't crack the codes. I can't stop you. Right? And so what I will do is send as much misfortune your way as I possibly can to interrupt your ability to express the information that the Most High needs you to express. Because when you express that information, it represents something else, meaning the frequency of which you emit is going to unlock other vessels, right? Like there are levels to your expression. There are levels to your mission and to your purpose. And so even if it looks like one thing, it has dimensions. It's rippling through time in many ways. It is shifting things, right? You are dropping symbols that are unlocking codes in the DNA of the humans around you that also have a God body, but maybe don't know it. Maybe they're asleep. Maybe they're just not familiar. Maybe they're just not confident, right? And so the fact that you have reached elite status means that you have mastered yourself. Since you have mastered yourself, you can now create new knowledge, right? This is a snowball effect that can't be stopped, but this was always the moment. This was always the event. This was always going to be the Super Bowl. So here's the thing. The only thing that can stop you from winning is if you are improperly wearing your uniform. Everybody has a vessel. Everybody that can hear my voice is walking around in a human body. But do you know who created your body? Do you know who made you and why? Do you know what team you're playing for? And what is the mission of the game? What is the purpose of the game? How do you play? Do you play with integrity? What are the rules of the game, right? And so when I say that you can interrupt your ability to win by not knowing who you are, like who this vessel belongs to, like, right? Like, do you know who dwells inside of you? The enemy, as we call it, wants to make you so uncomfortable in this body that you never reach a state of tranquility, right? The idea is that the suffering is so great that you were never able to marry the vessel and the soul. They're not able to meet. And if they're not able to meet, well, then the soul can ascend. Right? Now, the divine being, you come with almost like a battery pack, right? A portable battery pack wherever you go, and that's your divinity. And so some things may take you out, some things may exhaust you or deplete you or drain you. And that is the idea. If I can't take from you what I want, I will get you to self-destruct. Right? I will get you to overindulge. This is devil energy. I will tempt you. I will drag you down so much so that you will feel helpless, almost like you can't change your situation, right? You will be enslaved. Yes, you will be in this God body, but you will be enslaved. You will not be able to overcome addiction. You will not be able to avoid manipulative people. You will not be able to get out of controlling relationships. You will forever overindulge in food, in sex, in drugs, in alcohol, right? This is devil energy, right? And so if you are surrounded by all of the things that could break your vessel down, I mean, that's the most the devil can do, is to get you to reach out and to pick up all of the things that don't contribute to your own wellness. Your body is protected, but you must protect your energy. There are jealous eyes on you, right? We must always be aware of negative energy. We are literally hiding in plain sight. But not every entity can't see us, right? I mean, we're almost like lightning bugs. Sometimes people call them fireflies, right? Imagine a night, and every now and then you see a flicker. That's you. That's what you look like in your world, in your life. You are the flicker. And in any way possible, separating that light from your body is the goal. And it happens by way of suffering, right? But the suffering teaches you Detachment. It teaches you that anything on this earth, it can't compare to that which created you. It can't compare to that which designed you, right? Nothing can fulfill the void. Nothing can bring peace and tranquility and stillness except the peace of the Most High, the presence of the Most High. But a junky vessel, a polluted vessel, a vessel that is self-destructing, right? A vessel that can't break free from chains is not really a vessel that's fit to carry the Most High. And so even a divine being is going to have to battle to purify and to cleanse and to heal their body so that it can hold its purpose. It can hold its creator. It can become the God body for this main event. And so if you are waking up in time to play in this Super Bowl. But if you don't know that you have a God body, then you might be fucking around with shit that is messing up your energy, right? You might be bound to relationships that are taking you to fucking hell. They feel like hell. They drain you. You don't even want to wake up and look at them the next day, right? And so, yes, they can control us. They can't get the codes out of us, but what they can do is stop us from expressing them by putting us in suffering. You are protected from the misfortune, but you are seen. You are sensed. At this point in the game, nobody is hidden. Nobody is hidden, right? I used Adinkra symbols for a portion of this reading, and one of the symbols that came out was God's tree or sacred stump, right? And this talks about, God's presence and protection is all over and throughout your life. Now, this got me to think about sacred spaces where humans can commune with the divine. When I think about a tree, sometimes you go sit by a tree when you want to think and meditate. Where many times, I'm thinking of the Bible, there were places where, God body type of individuals would go to commune with the divine, right? So there were prominent places where you could speak to God, right? And so your body, I heard something today. What was it? The Holy Land of all nations is the human body, right? Because it is in the human body where the divine can make home, where the divine can take up space. And so not only are you carrying around that type of body, but at any point in time, you can converse with the Most High. I want you to imagine if Jesus was alive today, right? Now, what I'm about to say, I really hope you understand where I'm going, and I'm just going to say it, and I'll deal with the consequences. But, the difference between your life and the cross that you had to bear and that of Jesus is that Jesus knew the cross he was bearing from the beginning to the end. He was always connected. He was always tapped in. I was going to say that if Jesus were alive today, he would have an AirPod in his ear, right? We wouldn't be able to see it, but that is what his communing with God was like. Like it was just a constant. They were never not connected. He was never not tapped in, but being a human, a part of us is we had to forget our divinity. We had to forget that our vessel was a God body. It was a body that God lived in. It was a body that God manifested in order to shift, in order to create change, right? And so Jesus remembered, and oftentimes we're born, we forget, and we have to wake up, right? And so you are at this point, not only and this is what life looks like. In the beginning, we're struggling. And you struggle until you start passing some lessons. After you pass a few lessons, you become proficient. Well, you do that enough and before you know it, you are excelling. Well, after you excel, you are promoted to mastery. And so for those in this message, you have mastered your God body, and it is time for the main event. The only thing that could have stopped you from playing in this main event would have been devil energy. You not being able to free yourself. You not being able to live a healthier lifestyle. Ensuring that your body is nourished, right? You not being able to regain strength. Devil energy is like a dumbbell. It's a weight. It's a medicine ball. It's resistance. And it is in working through that resistance that you gain strength. You push past it and you move through the levels of mastery. You've done that, right? And the idea is that you were never supposed to get here, but here you are. And do you know, okay. All right, here we go. So you're entering into a phase of leisure or unity or harmony. Shit is going to be like smooth sailing. And I want you to be present. The thing about war is that you always have to be looking to the left, the right, behind you, up, down. Like you always have to be waiting for the next strike. Well, this is not that. You are in a season of peace and harmony. Appreciate these moments and be present. You have the presence of God. This is what I was going to say. There were prominent places where people would go to speak with God in the Bible. You were one of those people, right? Think about the burning bush. Think about Mount Sinai or the top of Mount Carmel, right? This is where people go to speak, right? Or the place where Jacob dreamt of the ladder to heaven. You were one of those people where you could be in a bathroom, a kitchen, a sewer, a restaurant, a classroom, a train, a bus, a plane, and you can commune with God. And once you commune with God, what you express after is the fucking problem. Because it is the aftermath of you communing that has a chain reaction that contributes to the shift that everybody is watching. Everybody meaning the universe. Like this is truly a main event. And so when you think about all of the celestial events that have been tracked over the past 5 years, things that will never happen again. You are a part of a moment in time. You are playing in a game that will never happen again. This is this moment, right? Now, we're honestly through the game, right? You are at the point where, listen, it's harmony. The war was the game. That was the battle. That was it. And you could not have shown up to play in the game unless you recognized the team that you were playing for. Are you properly wearing your uniform? Are your pads on appropriately? Right? I'm talking about your character traits. Like, are you wearing your God body? Do you have integrity? Are you honest and true? Are your morals and ethics aligned? Right? This is the uniform of a God body. And so you had to get all that shit aligned in order to show up for the main event. Judgment is here. This is almost like God giving you a progress report. The Most High saying, okay, as you sow, so shall you reap. All of those past efforts are going to bring rewards. This is called karma. For some, this is renewal, revival. Anything that was dormant or buried is going to come back to life. Anything hidden will be revealed. Depending on what you sowed, this could be happy. This could be a new beginning. And for some, this could be hell. This could be suffering, damnation, right? The Most High is literally saying to you, you're protected. I'm with you. You have peace. You have harmony. Take a fucking break. Get your rewards and be happy. I saw what you did, and it wasn't easy, but you did it, right? You played the game. You played for the right team, and your character was upright from the beginning of the game to the end. So take this time to recharge and enjoy your freedom. You've regained your sovereignty. It's now time to start something perfect. Perfect meaning you have all of you. Anything that once enslaved you no longer has chains. And so now you are perfectly in your divine essence to do what it is you are supposed to do. If you do not evolve yourself, you do not serve others. Now that you have entered into, I hope you didn't think it was over. You're just on vacation and then that's it. No, right? So now we get to the point of refining, of beautifying, right? Of maturing you. If you don't evolve, you can't serve. Okay? So you got here, you recognized your uniform. Yes, you're in a God body, but now it's time to make progress. It's time to develop. You got to move forward, right? When we're talking about evolving, you're changing and you're developing slowly. But guess what? You're often becoming better. You're becoming more complex. Your state is becoming more advanced. And the better you become, the better service you can provide. And so the training is never done. You're never not learning. You're never not a student. And so the guidance that comes to you, the divine guidance, is to have faith in your ability to gain clarity into what happens next. Where do I go? If there are answers you don't know, ask. Yes, I have a God body. What the fuck do I do now? Right? Ask. Be intentional. And listen, I used to think that prayer sounded like how I heard prayer at church, right? Like very soft and formal and gentle and like not wanting, and I know we go to different churches, so it's not always that way, but there's almost, but it's really just, it's a conversation. It's an expression of self. And so being authentic is really the only way to be. It's really the only, speak as you would speak to a friend. I mean, the Most High is in you. So it understands your energy and your anger and your frustration and your confusion and your stages of lack. Right? The Most High manifested in you to experience life as you do. Like literally, if you put all of us together, we are the creator. We will only better understand the Most High when we unite. Right now we're divided. I was thinking earlier about nature and the species that occupy Earth. You don't see the cardinals and the orioles like fighting and arguing about which bird deserves this, or which bird has privilege to that, or which bird is better at that. Like you don't see nature warring about its ability to just flourish, thrive, live and experience abundance. And when I said to myself, you don't see the Cardinals and the Orioles warring, I immediately went to Major League Baseball. And I'm like, yo, the way we have hacked the names and the species of nature. And guess what? We do, in our reality, sports, we do see the Cardinals and the goddamn Orioles warring, right? This is division, right? And so the false teachers, the creators, they have used, the language that represents life on earth, but they've applied it to their own systems and structures. I have no fucking issue with baseball. I'm just making a point, okay? And so, no, we don't see the true cardinal and the true Oriole fighting. But we do in our own species see that happening. We literally will not go to a certain place, wear a certain color, talk to a certain person, sit in a certain section, right? I mean, people will literally throw down because someone is a cardinal and they are an Oriole. I mean, but this is not the way of Earth. But can we recognize that, right? And so these systems that we call entertainment and enjoyment, it's cute to be a cardinal and an Oriole, and but the way that we are mimicking Earth, like we're not doing it properly. It's division. And it manifests everywhere. And that matters because it is very hard to create this shift if we are divided. We must unite, right? And so what I'm saying is that we are all a piece of God. And when we unite, we can better do the work, right? We become the body, the full body, and we can move as an entity, as a group. When you don't know how to move, ask. You are being asked, more importantly, to consider people. Do not forget the dual nature of people. Effort is needed. As you evolve, because of what you are and who you belong to, the way that people will attempt to control you or access you is going to come by way of another person. The Most High is saying, these are motherfucking shapeshifters, and you are a God body. Be vigilant, right? Effort is needed to maintain balance. You must maintain balance in order to fulfill your mission, in order to evolve, in order to hear the guidance, in order to receive the answer. You've got to be stable. You've got to keep your home stable at the same time that you keep your work life stable, at the same time that you keep your finances stable. But the signs are all good that this can be attained, right? And so you may have many projects going at the same time. Don't be so consumed in your projects that you forget the rules of duality. Don't lose your vigilance. People are shapeshifters. And if you are successfully maintaining balance, expect something, someone to attempt to throw you off. Balance is needed for you to develop, for you to progress, for you to move forward, right? This is about you becoming better. You got to be stable to do this. You can't be fighting. You can't be in a state of suffering or confusion. Those will come, but they should come temporarily. We shouldn't live in those moments for too long, right? And so you are a part of the family of light. That is the uniform you're wearing. That is the God body that has been assigned to you. And the reason why you're here is because you must change events. And before we can change the greatest event, we had to change the events in our life, right? If you look at what happened to Earth, we are a mini version of that. Right? We are all living out that drama, that saga in our own life. And we are using God energy to break down darkness. And we're doing it little bits at a time. Imagine that this is a massive elephant. Our lives are small bites. When you put all of our bites together, we have eaten the elephant. We have shifted the time. We have altered events. Right? And so people that are a part of this family of light, you know who you are because the gospel shines through you. What do I mean when I say gospel? What do you think of when you hear gospel? It's like the story, the testimony, it's the essence, it's the, it's the song, it's the creator song. and how it showed up in the life of humanity. That is revealed. The song of the Creator, the expression of the Creator is going to be revealed in how it shows up in your human life. You naturally seek light, right? You're drawn to things that are clean and pure and virtuous. You reject the power of the adversary. And every single day that you wake up, you consciously choose Christ consciousness. And because you are a family of light, or because you are a member of that family, you got to be mindful of your feelings. Remember, we're talking about balance. Think about all the times that you were not able to feel your feelings. Think about all the times that you couldn't express your emotions, right? Our emotions are essential to being human. And so you kind of got to feel them in order to really experience this thing called humanity. When you experience an emotion, it's supposed to flow, and then it's supposed to go. It comes and it goes. For once, I am only going to give you permission to be a sneaky link by way of how you handle your emotions, right? Think of a sneaky link. They creep in the darkness when nobody's watching. They do what they do, and then they dip out like no problem. There are some emotions that we really don't want to fuck with. We don't want to fuck with them like that. Shame, guilt, regret, remorse, mourning, loss, grief, blame. We don't want to deal with that, but we must feel them. And then we have to let them go. If there are emotions that we refuse to feel, and if we hold on to them, they become burdens, right? They even can become physical ailments. And so I want you, if you were uncomfortable feeling your feelings and expressing your emotions, I want you to be a sneaky link. 10 minutes a day. If something makes you feel shameful, sit with it. Hit it and quit it. Hit it and then let that shit go. You don't have to tell anybody you dealt with it. You don't have to tell anybody where you were when you were dealing with it, how it made you feel, how it didn't make you feel. Like, you don't have to tell anybody about the experience. But I really want you to just have small exchanges really quick with the emotions that are not a reflection of your greatest energetic self, right? Because you got to let them go. And the only way to let them go is to pick them up and then say, hey, it's okay to go. I'm at peace with you. It is what it is. I understand how it happened. It got me here, right? That was the story of my God body. That was me improperly wearing my God body. But now that I understand how to wear my uniform, that's not something that I probably would experience again, but it served its purpose. And so you sit with your emotions, and by doing so, you change your own energy. And when we all do this collectively and you put all that shit together, it becomes magic, right? This is how justice happens. We are the justice, but you have to bring out the justice. And it is literally by way of your emotional body, your emotional intelligence. That's how you shift and change the frequency. And so anything that is in you that is keeping you slave, making you a slave, or draining you, or burdening you, or causing you, when I have this thought, I just want to drink. When I see this person, I want to fucking smoke, right? After I do this, I just want to, anything that pushes you towards something that enslaves you, that's an emotion we got to deal with. Just sneaky link that shit until you no longer have a need for it, right? Until you have satisfied the thirst to constantly revisit that darkness again and again and again. Sneaky link it until you're done. It's okay. You don't got to tell nobody that you're in regret about anything. Nobody has to know, right? This is your story. This is the path to your God body. So fuck what they say. By doing this, you bring justice, right? You restore balance. Now, the thing about justice is it's rational, it's logical, it's intellectual, right? It's less emotional. But, emotions must be in check in order to bring all of the elements in. Like, you know what I mean? If you can control your part, then the other side will respond. The energy of the other side will shift, right? And so you get your vessel under control, because the quicker you do that, the quicker justice comes. The quicker, and justice is pure. It's impartial. And so simply by evolving and progressing, you are not meaning to cause another harm, right? But because of your own advancement, because you're becoming better, something else must shift and grow too. Something else must develop. It must move forward. And it's a constant battle. It's an exchange of energy. But the end goal is for everything to ascend, everything to shift. You are going to be shedding things very quickly. This is like a metamorphosis. Y'all, I felt like this was a big message. I knew this was a big message. And I felt like this was so much information. I don't know. I see this as us eliminating waste, We are literally shedding anything that doesn't allow our God body to run efficiently, right? Anything that could possibly interrupt our divine flow is what we are shedding. And by doing so, we are reducing losses, right? But this is a metamorphosis that we are completing. And after we go through this shedding phase, then we set goals. But the goals must be higher than the last. I mean, where you are right now used to be a goal. And you're hitting this milestone. And so then you create a new goal. But because you have gone through this metamorphosis, what happens next happens so fast. So fast. Right? And so what time used to be is no more. Once you are in command of your vessel, you have mastered self. You understand your identity. Once you are properly wearing your uniform and you are ready to play, things happen quickly. Huge strides, but in a short period of time, right? There's a boldness to you. There's a victory, like a triumph. Listen, you are going to recognize something different. There's an air about you that you haven't had, but you will know. You will know, you will feel it, you will sense it. All of that hard work is what got you here. And so when you experience stability, it's only because of the efforts that you put through. It's only because all of those months or years of instability that you can now celebrate stability, right? This is where you get to spend time with those you love. This is where you're content with life. You're actually content with yourself, more importantly. But you feel satisfied with the fruits of your labor because you understood it was your labor, right? If you didn't know, when you put on the Super Bowl costume, when you woke up to your vessel, when you understood that the Most High was actually dwelling in you, you must also recognize that you're priceless. That means that there's no currency on earth that can match you in value. Yes? Right? You're so precious that your value cannot be determined. This is why the war was so great. Nobody else, right? And sometimes we lament and we question, you know, and the last thing we would ever think is this happened because I was actually priceless, right? This happened because I have a value that's beyond any earthly price. And because of that, the cross to bear, right? It felt the way it did. They were after my vessel because I am priceless, because they wanted something in me. They wanted the formula, the code of the Creator, the ways of the Most High, the instructions, the manual. They can control you, but they couldn't control the Creator within you. And so if they had to control the environment or the events around you, well, then so be it. Now, because you are priceless, I'm going to say two things. Yes, we must be cautious, but we have nothing to fear, right? Once you recognize that your value cannot be matched in any way, you look at situations differently, right? You look at situations differently. You're slower to respond. You're slower to commit, right? You're mindful of the agreements you make, the contracts you sign, right? You pay attention to the details that are there, but you also pay attention to the details that are missing because you understand that you are priceless. Yes? And so a contract with you, an agreement with you, is something that will never be able to happen again in the lifetime of whoever stands opposite you to benefit or gain from that contract, right? And so be cautious because of your pricelessness, right? Take everything in stride. Sometimes there will be delays. Sometimes there will be inconveniences, but we are not to take those personally. Those happen because we are priceless and shit needed to be sorted through before we could move forward. The universe was being cautious, right? Our spirit team was being cautious because you're fucking priceless. You gonna whine about being priceless? You don't want to be priceless, right? But then this life, it really works to disempower you. You know, thinking about the media, it really makes the human look so silly and so uncomfortable in their vessel, so uncomfortable in their own skin, right? We want to change everything. If you never altered anything about your body from your birth to your death, do you know that you are immaculate, you are perfect, you are extraordinary? If you change nothing. Now, because you change something, it doesn't take away your value. It doesn't all of a sudden assign a price to you. No, you're still priceless. But consciously, you've got to know you're priceless, right? And so nothing outside of you determines your value. This is the Most High that dwells within you. That is the evidence of the fact that nothing here can match you. No currency. This is why the path was the path. This is why they're after you. You're elite. The model of your vessel. The uniform you wear. It's exclusive. They can't get the shit they want out of it. They can't control whoever put it in you. Right? So that's the message. I love y'all. I hope it came through in the way that I was feeling it. But yeah, I mean, you are incredible. You are incredible. And you can be anywhere at any time and speak to the Most High. And once that conversation is had, what you express after is what creates the shift. It is what alters events. And that is why the misfortune is sent your way. That is why the devil energy is sent your way in order to get you to overindulge in self-destruct. Because when your vessel is healthy and nourished and strong, you are better able to navigate and operate your God body. And so to weaken your God body is to slow you down in purpose, and it's to slow you down in mission. Okay, I love y'all. I was about to get off before, but I started talking again. All right, guys. This is a long one. This was a long one. All right, if you're still here, guess my favorite color. This is how I know who made it to the end. No, you don't have to guess it. If you're still here, my favorite color is purple. So if you are listening and you put a purple heart in the comments, I know that you made it to the end. All right, y'all. I love you. Happy God Buddy. I hope you love your uniform. This is the event, the main event, the God Body event, right? And so if you have yet to properly be fitted in your uniform, that's okay. That's okay. You're protected, right? The presence of God is with you. Feel those feelings, express those emotions. If you don't know where you're going, ask, right? It's okay. It takes about 6 weeks to get acclimated to a new school, a new way of life, a new understanding. And so that's what this is like for all of us. But you're not alone, and we're doing it together. All right, my favorite color is purple. I love you. Bye.